The Ravens aren't playing in any playoff games this weekend, so it is time to fire up the mock drafts. This is the first one of the offseason for me. It's still very early. A lot of movement on the boards is going to change. You know, we got the combine and everything. People are still declaring, but I wanted to dive into it. So we're going to be doing mock drafts throughout this offseason leading up to the draft, and this is the first one. Let's get it.
Ravens flock. Flock rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Let's fire up the first mock draft of the season. Ravens are picking at 14 in the first round. There was a lot of different directions I could go here. We obviously need to build up the trenches, but I couldn't help but pick defensive tackle Peter Woods from Clemson. I think that he probably will not be here at 14, but if he is, this is an absolute home run pick. 6'3", 315 pounds, has special power, plays violent, man, plays like a Raven. This would absolutely help fill the hole of Nnamdi Madubuike. And I really think Peter Woods has consistent Pro Bowl / All-Pro upside year after year, and this is a home run pick if he's there at 14. With the second round pick, I drafted an edge rusher that was falling way too far, in my opinion, in Cassius Howe. This guy has insane bend around the edge, and I think would really lift this Ravens pass rush unit alongside of Mike Green. I was debating going offensive line here, but I just couldn't pass up on Cassius Howe falling this far. He probably will not be here in the second round, but I had to attack on it in this mock draft. So we went Cassius Howe with the second round pick, and now we have a premier defensive tackle and an edge rusher in the first two rounds. Moving on to the third round, I had to address the offensive line, so I went with Caleb Tiernan, who's a tackle from Northwestern. He's a great pass protector, better at pass protection than the run game right now. He's 6'7", huge guy. I think would be a future starting tackle for the Ravens, but maybe they could slide him into a guard spot. I really just thought he was the best offensive lineman available at this point, so I had to address the offensive line, and with the fourth round pick, I went offensive line again and double dipped at the guard spot and got Jaden Roberts, offensive guard from Alabama. I really like this pick in the fourth round, 6'5", 327, senior at Alabama, and Roberts' strength is run blocking. This guy can move bodies. He needs to work on his lateral game a little bit. Definitely, you know, more of a project in the fourth round. I don't know if he would come in and immediately start, but it would add depth and competition to this offensive line room. We can always go out and sign a veteran as well. Moving on to the fifth round, I got Damani Jackson, cornerback from Alabama. He's a senior, 6'1", 196 pounds, and is an athletic freak. He ran a 4.28 40. He does have some things to work on from a coverage standpoint, but he makes it up with his athleticism and speed. And once again, this late in the draft, you know, you're looking for guys to compete and develop. And I really just took a gamble on this guy's athleticism to come through. With the next pick in the fifth round, I went wide receiver Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech, 5'11", 180 pounds, senior, runs a 4.38 40. He's an outside receiver that can take the top off of defenses. He's a little bit undersized as an X-receiver, but has a natural feel for finding soft spots in zone coverage and does a really good job getting in and out of his breaks. Moving on to the next pick at 172, I went with Jack Endries, tight end from Texas. This was really best player available here in the fifth round. I mean, he's a top 5 ranked tight end, and he's still here in the fifth round. 6'4", 240, junior at Texas. Better as a receiver right now. Definitely has to work on blocking as time goes on, but if the Ravens aren't able to re-sign Likely or Kohler, I think that drafting another tight end would be a smart move. At pick 173, I went Grayson Halton, defensive tackle from Oklahoma, adding to the defensive line more. He's 6'2", 285 pounds, but this guy is an athlete and definitely would be a little bit more of a project, maybe in the line of like Peebles or something, but never hurts to add defensive tackle depth. Playoff football is here. It sucks that we're not in it, but if you're watching, you might as well make it interesting. And this year, I've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to bring you guys an incredible offer. New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's right. New customers turn $5 into $300 if your bet wins. Paid in bonus bets. The crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot and an even bigger payout. So make sure when you're signing up to use my promo code TFR. And then moving on to pick 210, I went with Eric Gentry, linebacker from USC. He's 6'6", 225 senior. He runs a 4.56. This is a taller linebacker who can still move sideline to sideline. Probably fits more as a will linebacker, but I like this athleticism, especially this late in the draft. With pick 249, I went Jamari Taylor, running back from Virginia. He's 5'9", 204 pounds, runs a 4.39. He's probably a special teams guy and a third down back at this point, but really could develop into an all-around back and was the best available running back, best available player this late in the draft. And then with the final pick at pick 252, I went Patrick Payton, edge rusher from LSU. He started 26 games at Florida State, had 16 sacks. Still raw overall as a pass rusher, but with the last pick of the draft, I think there's a lot of good upside here. But that rounds out the first mock draft. I didn't mind it. I mean, there's definitely a bunch of different ways to go. I went Peter Woods early just because I feel like that was such a steal and really replaces Matabike on that defensive line. Peter Woods and Travis Jones on that D-line is pretty crazy. And then addressed edge with the second pick to get some more pass rush juice. I still think we'll have to go out and sign a Trey Hendrickson or maybe making a more aggressive trade, but adding some depth and young guys to the edge room never hurts. I did go offensive line third and fourth round. Maybe that's not high enough. Maybe we need to be more aggressive to get a perennial starter. So that is one area of weakness of this mock draft is I didn't address offensive line in the first two rounds. And we obviously have some holes at guard. We'll see what Emory Jones Jr.'s develop into, but I did get some good prospects, and people that could come in and compete right away, but also would be there for the future, kind of like an Emory Jones Jr., just without the injuries, hopefully. So I think that there's some high upside linemen that were drafted in this mock draft, but, if in a perfect world, I'd like to get one in the first two rounds. It's just I couldn't not pick Peter Woods and Cassius Howe with those first two picks, but definitely wouldn't mind going offensive line with one of those. And I still want to go out and sign an offensive line veteran guard just for security, a safety net. We can't run into the situation that we ran into last year where we had some guys underperforming and there was just no other options. And then in the later rounds of this draft was able to add more depth at corner, tight end, linebacker, wide receiver. I know some of these guys probably wouldn't contribute right away, but I definitely liked some of the upside here. And it's still super early, man. I mean, this is the first mock draft of the offseason. It's only January. We don't have testing at the combine. We don't have, the boards are all over the place right now. Depends on what mock draft simulator you use, depends on who falls. I think this one that I just used had a couple guys fall that probably shouldn't have been there, but it is what it is. I took best guy available at position of need as well, and it kind of lined up in this draft. Like I said, the only thing I kind of wish is that we got an offensive lineman earlier, but was able to hit some good ones in the mid round. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are about this first mock draft. What would you have done differently? And what do you think about it overall? And what kind of guys are you eyeing up for the Ravens to go target in this year's draft? We're going to get some good options there, especially at 14. And, picking in the middle of the rounds in every round is such an advantage that we're not really used to. So I'm excited for the draft, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the Flock Rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.